character, development, and democratic citizenship. Americans have never doubted that the development of character and democratic citizenship are closely linked. John Adams, one of the nation's founding fathers, wrote in 1780 what is now the oldest functioning written constitution in the world. In that Constitution, Adams advanced two powerful arguments for both character and civic education. Interestingly enough, subsequent scholarly writing and research has corroborated Adams' basic contentions. Adams insisted that the state has an obligation to educate its citizens because 1. Wisdom and knowledge, as well as virtue diffused generally among the body of the people, is necessary for the preservation of rights and liberties. In other words, if people want to be free and to enjoy the rights and liberties that characterize a democratic society, the people, all of them, must be educated. It's not enough for a society to educate only the elite or only males. Wisdom, knowledge, and virtue must be diffused generally. 2. Schools, private societies, and public institutions all have an obligation to inculcate the principles of humanity and general benevolence, public and private charity, industry and frugality, honesty and punctuality in their dealings, sincerity, good humor, and all social affections, and generous sentiments among the people. Adams' language may be that of the 18th century, but his message is as pertinent today as it was when it was written. Adams not only called for the education of those whose gender or family station in life might mark them for positions of leadership. He called for the general diffusion of wisdom, knowledge, and virtue. A purpose of education is to impart knowledge and to evoke wisdom. But it must do more than that. Education
Renee,
is seen.
Sorry. Can you read that whole one sentence again, please?
Sure. A purpose of education is to impart knowledge and to evoke wisdom. But it must do more than that. Education is seen as a process that must nurture the principles of humanity and general benevolence. It must include virtues such as honesty, charity, sincerity, and even good humor, and for a very good reason. A democratic society is a social compact in which the whole people covenants with each citizen, and each citizen with the whole people.
Can you read that again?
A democratic society is a social compact in which the whole people covenants with each citizen, and each citizen with the whole people. Such covenants can only be entered into by an educated citizenry imbued with virtue, as well as with wisdom and knowledge.
And would you read that sentence again?
A democratic society is a social compact in which the whole people covenants with each citizen, and each citizen with the whole people. Such covenants can only be entered into by an educated citizenry imbued with virtue, as well as with wisdom and knowledge. More than 2 centuries have elapsed since John Adams penned his clarion call for character and citizenship education. He understood the connection between private or personal traits of character and public or civic virtue. He cautioned that if a nation wishes to be free and democratic, it must rely on the knowledge, wisdom, and virtue of all its people. He also realized that both character and citizenship are learned behaviors. No one is born knowing right from wrong any more than knowing what a democratic citizen is or how a democratic citizen should act. It is interesting to note that what Adams understood and expressed continues to be underscored by the United States' most recent presidents. Consider the 1996 State of the Union address in which President Bill Clinton insisted that every school should teach character education, good values, and good citizenship. Or George W. Bush's second inaugural address. In it, he too urged character education, and he called on his fellow Americans to be citizens, not spectators. The pairing of character and civic education also is echoed in the work of present-day scholars and curriculum developers. They may modernize the language they use, but they essentially endorse the same concepts. As an example, consider the 6 pillars of character identified by the well-known Character Counts program. Those pillars are trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. We today speak of caring where Adams spoke of benevolence. We today speak of responsibility, which Adams called honesty and punctuality. And what Adams described as social affections and generous sentiments among the people, we today would...
Renee, will you read that one sentence all over after the 6 pillars?
We today speak of caring where Adam spoke of benevolence. We today speak of responsibility, which Adams called honesty and punctuality. What Adams described as social affections and generous sentiments among the people, we today would encompass in the concept of a caring community. While conviction about the need for and connection between character, education, and democratic citizenship remains unchanged and enduring, there are some imperatives to which we currently need to be attentive. First, there is what William Damon, the director of the Center of Adolescence,